Hello there and welcome to another special edition of World Football Graphics, and today we are looking at why 2004 is considered by many to be the year when football went weird. Football has always had its fair share of shocks, but 2004 was a year when the sport seemed to lose its script entirely. Unlikely champions, historic unbeaten runs, and managerial masterminds emerging from the shadows, everything about this year defied logic. Bayern Munich are the undisputed kings of German football and have been for quite some time now. With 33 Bundesliga titles in the bag, they are the most dominant team in German football. But every now and then there comes a team that puts the end to their dominance for at least a season or two, as what Leverkusen did in 2024 and Jurgen Klopp's Dortmund in 2011. Though they are a pale shadow of themselves now, at the end of the 2003-2004 season, Werder Bremen won an unlikely Bundesliga title. The Werder Bremen side was unspectacular on paper and lacked the star power of heavy favorites Bayern Munich, who had dominated the league for a decade, along with Borussia Dortmund. And yet spurred on by the remarkable goal-scoring heroics of Elton, who would never go close to replicating his remarkable 28 goals he managed that season, Werder Bremen clinched the title by 6 points. This shock was clearly not enough, and they went on to lift the DFB Pokal soon after. Their run to the finals weird. They managed to avoid any challenging games, eventually defeating second-tier side Alemannia Aachen, who knocked out Bayern and Borussia Mönchengladbach in previous rounds to secure the trophy. Their two triumphs were unexpected, and the beautiful weirdness of 2004 was only just getting started. Spanish football has generally been dominated by two giants of world football, Barcelona and Real Madrid, with Atletico showing up every once in a while. 2004 was the year that saw someone other than these three win the league, as it was Rafael Benitez's Valencia who took the La Liga crown in a closely contested season, peeping Barcelona to the title by just 5 points. Benitez worked wonders with Valencia, leading them to a second La Liga title in 3 years, while also guiding them to a UEFA Cup victory in the same season. Maybe this double wasn't unexpected, seeing as it was Valencia's second title in 3 seasons. Still, the prior campaign, Valencia had finished 5th, and this was also during the time of Real Madrid's Galacticos. Rafael Benitez's side really had no right to win La Liga and the UEFA Cup in 2004. However, fueled on the fumes of 2004's weirdness, Valencia did just that, eventually finishing a full 5 points ahead of a Barcelona side in the process of a rebuild from Rijkaard. Some of Benitez's key performers were the enigmatic number 10 Pablo Aimar, chief goal-getter Mr. also produced a superb season, and it was he and Vicente who scored as Valencia defeated a Marseille team containing Didier Drogba in the UEFA Cup final. It was one of the few times the Ivorian failed to turn up in a big match. The Premier League, then known as the Barclays Premier League, is long considered to be the most competitive league in the world given the quality of players competing in the league and across numerous clubs. With that in mind, it's almost impossible to think that any team could go the entire 38-game season undefeated. But that's exactly what Arsene Wenger managed to do in 2004. Arsenal went on to become the only English side in history to be awarded the Golden Premier League trophy, given to them in recognition of this remarkable feat. There are a couple of weird things about Arsenal's Invincibles team. On the most basic level, a Premier League team going a full campaign without losing is rather ridiculous. Perhaps even stranger though is the fact that they did not enjoy even more success. Arsene Wenger's squad was the best in Europe in 2004, and their defeat to a largely unremarkable Chelsea side in the quarterfinals of the Champions League badly dented their legacy. The Gunners suffered a similarly strange defeat to Steve McLaren's Middlesbrough in the semi-finals of the League Cup. Two weird, out-of-character defeats for such a fantastic team. Well, that's 2004 for you, we suppose. The UEFA Champions League is the most prestigious tournament in club football, where the creme de la creme of European clubs compete to be crowned the best in Europe. Naturally, it is then expected that the two finalists of the tournament are two of the biggest European powerhouses in football. However, in 2004, instead of two powerhouses meeting in the final, it was a battle of the underdogs that became household names in themselves. A final between Monaco and Porto would have been unthinkable when the Champions League kicked off in the summer of 2003. Both sides were perennial underdogs throughout the competition, hailing from unfancied leagues, but coached by two remarkable managers in Didier Deschamps and Jose Mourinho. No matter which of the final four would have progressed into the final, the game was bound to stick out like a sore thumb in football history. The defeated semi-finalists were Chelsea and Deportivo La Coruña, two sides with next to no European pedigree. It was another example of 2004 being a year of the underdog. The final itself was a one-way traffic, with Jose Mourinho's Porto taking full advantage of Monaco losing their creative talisman Ludovic Gulli early on to injury and strolling to a 3-0 victory. FC Porto, Champions League winners, still sounds weird all these years later. France football closed off a busy year by leaving Thierry Henry off their top three for the Ballon d'Or. Henry scored 30 Premier League goals for the Invincibles, one of the greatest domestic seasons of all time, and although international success with France was not forthcoming, the players who beat him to the podium quite frankly did not deserve to. The gong was won by Andriy Shevchenko, who scored less goals to help Milan romp to a Serie A title, while the second place was taken by Deco. His inclusion as Porto's best player in their shock Champions League win was understandable, but Ronaldinho's inclusion in third place is less forgivable. The attacking midfielder missed Brazil's Copa America triumph with injury and also endured a trophyless season at club level. How he managed to beat Henry to the podium is weird, very weird indeed. 2004 was one of those years when the club season was followed by a major international tournament, as Portugal hosted the UEFA Euro 2004. As host, they were drawn into Group A alongside Greece, Russia and Spain. Following a shocking loss in their opening game, Portugal corrected their course as they went undefeated after that to reach the final on home soil. A young and exciting Portugal squad containing UEFA Champions League winners like Deco and Carvalho, Real Madrid star Luis Figo, and a certain youngster by the name of Cristiano Ronaldo. It was written in the stars for Portugal to lift the European Championship on home soil. After Porto's triumph on the club stage, Euro 2004 presented a perfect opportunity for Portugal to cement their place as Europe's dominant nation. The tournament was on home soil and World Cup winning Brazilian coach Big Felipe Scolari was in charge. Incredibly though, Portugal's tournament was bookended by two defeats to Greece in one of the greatest underdog stories in football history. Set up in a ridiculously defensive 4-4-3 which resembled a 4-5-1 most of the times, the Greeks bulldozed their way to the final before squeezing out a narrow 1-0 win over the host in the final. It was really weird, and thus very on brand for 2004 as a whole. That's all about this episode. If we have other interesting footballing incidences that happened in 2004 that we left out on this list, please highlight them in the comment section below. As always, thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time, it's goodbye.